Hey everybody, today I am here at 333 4th Street in Park Slope, Brooklyn. Hey everybody, today I am here at 333 4th Street in Park Slope, Brooklyn. This is a 60-unit co-op building in the heart of Park Slope. Gorgeous building, really well maintained. This is a co-op, and for those of you who don't live in New York City, I'll explain what that means in a minute. The location could not be better. We are on one of the most beautiful blocks in the neighborhood. We're just minutes from some of the best restaurants, shopping, bars, entertainment in the area. We're very close to Washington Park, which is a historic site dating back to the Revolutionary War era. There's a farmer's market like 300 feet away. Prospect Park is 2 blocks away. It's a wonderful location. Check this out. Here's the building. You can see it's a 6-story building on a gorgeous tree-lined street. So on weekends, there's a farmer's market right there. It's not there today because it's Monday. And Prospect Park is right up this block, right up this street, 2 blocks away. Really nice setting. Heading into the lobby, you can see that the intercom is a butterfly system. This connects to an app that you install on your phone. And so when visitors buzz, it doesn't go to the apartment, it goes to your phone wherever you are. So you can buzz into visitors. If you have packages delivered, you can see them on camera. You can assign access to a temporary visitor. It's a really great system that a lot of buildings are doing now. Key fob access to the lobby. And you can see that Amazon has set up a little station here for package delivery. It's a really nice, well-maintained elevator building. And we'll head into the elevator. Now I warn you, this is a very slow elevator. So we're going to be here for a minute. If you wanted a quick tour, you came to the wrong place. Let's head on in to apartment 4E. This is a 650 square foot 1-bedroom apartment, which seems kind of small, but it's actually a nice size for New York City for a 1-bedroom. Now, the first thing you notice is this foyer. A lot of times in New York, the front door opens right into the living space. Let me zoom out. And so you get food delivered, you get a pizza delivered, you open the door and the delivery guy is basically right there in your living room. But with this apartment, you actually have a nice little foyer. You have some separation between the front door and the living space, which I think is kind of nice. So there are always trade-offs with apartments in New York City. These older buildings tend to have really big bedrooms with proper closets. A lot of new development, new construction units have very small bedrooms and very small, if no closets, perhaps no closets. But this one has a big bedroom, which you'll see in a minute. But the trade-off is that it has a very small kitchen. And I mean, I've seen some small kitchens. This one's very quirky. Good counter space here, and we have a dishwasher and some decent cabinet space. But this space right here is pretty small. I mean, if you look at my feet, I wear a size 10.5 shoe. That's not very much space. So this would be a great kitchen for a very thin person. It's really nice to have a bathroom. It's really nice to have a window in your kitchen. We're facing north here. But this is so narrow, I can actually sit down on the windowsill and do my dishes. But, you know, there are always compromises to be made in New York City real estate. Another thing to notice here is this door. Now, this door opens technically to the hallway, but it's been sealed shut for a very long time, since before I sold this apartment to my client. And most of the apartments in this building have this type of setup. Long ago, this was an old tenement style building, and the apartments were cut up into smaller units. And so this apartment, almost certainly back in the day, was 2 apartments. And you can see that's the door we came in. And this was once another door to another apartment, but now it's sealed shut. So just a quirky thing that you find in these older buildings. Let's go check out the bedroom. So like I said, this apartment has a very large bedroom. I'll zoom out. You could probably fit 2 king-size beds in this room. And it has an eastern exposure, so it's nice and sunny, and 2 decent closets. Again, the kind of thing that you don't find in new development very often is proper closet space. Now, another thing that you want to notice is that this apartment has window air conditioners here and here. These older buildings were built before there was central air conditioning, and there's really no way to put central AC into this building. You'd have to install ductwork, and you'd have to have condensers outside. There's really no place to do that. This is a landmarked building on a landmarked block. Landmarks is a historical designation, and anything you want to do to the facade of, or the exterior of a landmark building requires Landmarks Commission approval, which is a long and expensive process. And there really is no way to practically install air conditioning condensers on the exterior of this building. And so we have window units. Not everybody loves these, but they're pretty much a fixture in historic brownstone Brooklyn neighborhoods. Heat is through radiators. The building has 1 central boiler, and so the heat is controlled by the building. Because of that, heat and hot water are included in your monthly fees. So it does make it a little bit more affordable, but the flip side is you don't have a lot of control over your temperature. So it can get pretty warm in here. A lot of people will crack their windows in the winter to let the heat out. Now let's go check out the bathroom. Not glamorous, but clean, nice, well kept, nice deep tub. These older apartments tend to have very deep tubs. They don't make them like that anymore. These are great. And there you have it. So I'm going to take you down into the basement. I don't know if there's going to be anyone down there and if they want me videoing, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let's see what happens. basements of these old buildings are really cool. So this, we're heading down to see the laundry room. This is the super's apartment. And here is the laundry room. This is nice. This is for donating clothes. Really great. 4 washers and 4 dryers for 60 apartments. Some of the units might actually have laundry in their apartment, but you put money on this card and you do your laundry. It's nice. And, you know, they have security and a bathroom. So it's a nice, pleasant laundry experience. Now, this building does have storage and bike storage. I won't have access to those spaces, but they'll be in some locked rooms back there. Now, I mentioned before that this is a co-op building. In New York City, for those of you who don't live in New York and aren't familiar with co-ops, New York City has 2 types of apartment ownership: condos and co-ops. Condos, which you have in the rest of the country. In a condo, you own a deed to the space that the apartment occupies within the building, just like you own a deed to your house. With a co-op, you own shares in a corporation, and the number of shares for your apartment is proportionate to the size of the apartment within the building. A 2-bedroom is going to have more shares than a 1-bedroom, and so forth. It's still your apartment, but technically it's not real estate. The business structure is different. The approval process for a sale or a rental in a co-op building is much longer than that with a condo. Once you sign a contract or a lease, you have to apply to the co-op board for approval. That can take a few weeks and involves full financial disclosure. It's really not a pleasant process, but it's just something we're used to here. And it usually involves an interview as well. And it's not fun. I've been doing this for 18 years, and I can tell you it's never fun. It's always invasive and annoying at best. But still in New York City, about 65-70% of all apartments are co-ops. So it's just very much a part of the New York City real estate landscape, and it's something that we're used to. Some of the practical differences between a condo and a co-op: you know, with a condo, it's usually pretty easy to rent your unit out if you want to. You can buy it as an investment property and rent it out. They usually don't restrict pets or anything like that. Co-ops tend to be a lot more restrictive. Almost all co-ops have restrictions on renting, subletting. Usually you have to own the property for a year or 2 before they'll even let you rent. And then they usually cap the number of years that you can rent out the apartment. And they do this because they want to keep the owner occupancy in co-op buildings high. And for that reason, you wouldn't buy a co-op if you were just buying an investment property, because there'd be no guarantee that you could rent it out long term. One of the quirks of New York City real estate: co-ops are not for everyone, and we could do a whole video on that, and I probably will. This is a co-op, and if the owner sells it, we are going to have to put the buyer in front of the co-op board for full financial review and an interview. If the owner decides to rent it, we will still have to submit a pretty involved co-op sublet application, and there probably will be an interview. And for that reason, a lot of renters won't consider a co-op because they just don't want to go through the hassle of all of that. And because of that, we usually have to price a co-op a little bit lower than we would price other property types to account for the smaller pool of buyers or renters who will consider that property. So that's it. That's your tour of 3334 4th Street, apartment 4E. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like content like this, down-to-earth videos of real estate in Brooklyn, please subscribe, please follow me, and please reach out anytime if you want to connect.